Hello and welcome, Exile, to the fifth update to the Guardian Righteous Fire. I know it's been a while, and I can explain. I got sidetracked with a really long upgrade that is still in progress, also known as attempting to reflect helical rings. I'm about 10 rings deep where I have missed the reflection. Essentially, I'm trying to get 3 stats to go positive together: int, all attribute, and dot multi. It's about a 1 in 10 on a 5 stat ring, maybe a little bit slightly better if you consider the case where you just get all mods to go positive. Very rare outcome. So I'm just basing it on the fact that 99% of the time you get a 3 stat plus a 2 stat outcome. So getting all 3 positive to go together, I believe, is a 1 in 10, and we are about 10 rings deep. We have not hit it yet. Outside of that, there are 2 other major upgrades we've made since the last video, and these upgrades upgraded our damage by about 2.5 times, as well as giving us about 2,000 ES, I think, since the last time I showed you this character, which is a new pair of gloves and a Simplex amulet. By far, the biggest upgrade you will ever make in this character is a Simplex amulet. I cannot stress enough. This is the critical piece in terms of it just makes everything better. Percent attributes means every time you get flat int, you're getting more out of that, meaning more percent ES and more flat mana, which flat mana also gives you ES with Templar due to Radiant Faith and Sanctuary of Thought. On top of that, every bit of int you get more percent damage. So it's basically like a crucial piece that involves 3 of your scaling factors: your flat mana, your percent damage, and your percent ES, which all add together in terms of power. And we made this using a Hinekora Lock Beast crafting method. I will link in the description a video that goes over this method, as well as the timestamp of when I crafted it on stream. It took me about 30 minutes. Since then, I've had quite a few people message me in game that they've done the method that I used, and it's worked successfully for them. I think I've had about 5 or 6 people tell me they've done it successfully with this method, ranging from 2 to 6 beast locks, and then one guy, Bishop, sorry for you, my friend, he apparently did 40 beast locks before hitting it, making our average go from an average of like 4 to like 10 with his bad RNG. So there definitely is a realm of RNG, but there could also be RNG doing the other method previously that we did for the Mana Man and the Affliction Trickster. But ultimately, those 2 the method we use those, I believe, is strictly just quite a bit worse than doing a Hinekora Beast Lock method. Essentially, it involves making a magic version of percent int or percent attribute, either the Shaper or Crusader, and then preparing bases to Awakener Orb with the amulet. I prefer doing a percent int base with Crusader and then have a damage per int Shaper mod and a percent attribute Shaper mod, and checking the Awaken Orbs with either 1 mod, where there's 1 influence mod, 2 influence mod, 3 influence mod, and various variations until you get the outcome you want. That's the short answer, but really you need to look at the VOD or look at the videos explaining the crafting method. Anyways, amulet, big scaling factor, and then gloves I didn't really want to spend a lot on implicits, which are really important on sub-tier gloves, so I took some time to make some decent gloves before I invested all the money into getting a good fire dot multi and damage per int on the implicits of gloves. Between these 2 items, the gloves were roughly about, I don't know if they were 30 to 35% more damage at the time, and the amulet was like 50 to 70% more damage, whatever it was. I have gone from about 1 million on my tooltip to now I have about 2.4 million on the tooltip. So there were a couple levels in there, but mainly it was these 2 changes. The next upgrade, the helical, will probably more than double my damage, I believe, between the reflection of the doubling of the mods and then putting on a Calandra's Touch, which that is what I'm working to next. Now I'm going to give you guys a bit of a showcase here. I'm going to go through I guess a garden rotation. I've been doing a lot of these. I've been farming my own essences, essentially for doing the helical ring craft. I end up needing a lot of, what do you call them? A lot of essences of delirium, like a lot of them. So I've been manually farming my own essence of delirium specifically because we're trying to target that farm and trying to improve that specific craft. I view this as one of the strongest upgrades you can make to this character and to characters in general. I very much believe there's a lot of builds I see not using reflected rings, and they should be. Reflected jewelry is just so incredibly strong. And I would stress, if you want to min-max your character, look into it. It's very, very good to do. I'm going to turn off these shrines. I didn't mean to click those throughout the map. It's just force of habit. But yeah, anyways, we're working our way towards the helical craft, and then after that, it's going to be probably cluster crafting, and I want to say, what would be after cluster crafting? Probably my helmet will be next. There's a series of upgrades. I'm excited for a lot of them. And then we got Pee-wee 2's announcement coming in hot, so I'll probably be making some videos on that. But each upgrade we make from here on out will be a massive difference. The one thing I love about doing a character like this is every single upgrade I make means more than the last upgrade I did before it. And it's nice to continue to push that envelope. For example, I tested one of the bricked helicals I hit that hit positive attribute with positive int, but not dot multi. It was negative dot multi. That is going to give this character, I believe, I'll turn off these. My character's at 22,000 ES and 700, right? If I put on that helical with the upgraded int and the upgraded all attribute, not considering the dot multi, I go from 22,000 to 700 to like 26,900 or something like that. It's over 4,000 ESI increase with that one singular upgrade. Very big upgrade, and on top of that, it would be about 80 to 100 dot multi depending on how the multiplier goes or whatever, which again is part of the reason it's such a massive damage upgrade, because it's giving us a lot of percent damage from our Simplex. It's giving us a lot more ES, which improves the base damage of Righteous Fire, and on top of that, we're getting dot multi. So it's a massive upgrade, and that's what I'm striving for next. It also should give us a bit more strength in Dex, which should allow me to, I don't know if I'm spec'd a Dex node right now. I am. Like, that'll save me a passive, as well as the strength nodes I have that aren't tattooed yet. I can probably tattoo, so it'll give me more regen. So everything you do, everything you upgrade, man, I can't help myself. I just keep accidentally clicking the shrines. It's just such a force of habit, and I probably shouldn't be clicking the delve thing either, but either way, sometimes I just forget about what I'm doing or what I'm in the middle of and space out. But right now we're at a very comfortable point of damage where I probably could do Ubers fine at this point. I haven't really bothered to do any Ubers, but I'm just kind of chilling, doing guardian rotations, rushing. I've done some feared rotations, just kind of cruising my way towards currency and upgrades. We're at level 98. And we'll go ahead and do the Phoenix next, and then we can look at a bit of the game plan. Or I guess I'll just talk about the game plan while I'm doing this Phoenix. The game plan for the character is, I've been on this helical craft for about 3 days now, so hopefully I can finish it soon. And, you know, it's getting expensive every time you need to recraft and use 20 plus delirium essences. It costs a lot. Go for the reflecting mist, etc. Once we finish the helical craft, I think the next is going to be cluster jewels, where we will go for large jewels with int, all attribute, fire damage, 35 effect, and ES is probably what the passes are going to be, which that'll be, I will probably try to go for 3 clusters. I think it'll be worth going for 3 clusters. And then after that, it'll be, I believe we will do a helmet craft, where I will use the Hinokora lock method to craft a helmet with percent int, flat int, and negative 12 fire res, like a double elevated helmet type of thing. I think that's what I'm going to go for after the hit for, all right, I'm spaced right out. After the hit for the clusters. Then following that, I think our next upgrade will probably either be the shield, where we force in recover on block in the build, which will take us from very tanky to, oh my word, we're just absorbing all damage, because that's what, you know, the on block recovery does. When you get a good amount of block and you get 5% ES on block recover, at that point I believe we'll probably be close to 35,000 ES or higher, probably higher. And when you start recovering 5% of 35k on top of good regen, on top of good recovery rate, it's just gonna feel fantastic, and I cannot wait. I'm really excited about it. Do I have an alchemy orb? I don't have an alchemy orb. Oops. Grab an alchemy orb. Hello, formed. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of the game plan. Let's try to get a little bit more, like 50 plus. Can we get 50 plus? 50 plus right there. Fantastic. Gain is extra monster damage. A little bit dangerous, but we should be fine at 22,000 ES. We will see. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan. Sorry about the delay in this update for the character. There were some big upgrades we did that took a while to do the crafting. I was kind of delaying doing this video because I wanted to showcase the upgrade of the helical on top of the Simplex and the gloves, but unfortunately the helical's taking a bit longer, so I figured I'd post this video now, give you a bit of a framework of what we're trying to do currently. I'm gonna see when the 100% regen procs, and then I'm gonna proc my Valor F at the same time. It's nice if you can proc those together, because the Valor F gets healed right up if you proc it during the Guardian proc. You can see when the Guardian proc starts. If you time your Valor F with that, it just heals you right up. Another upgrade that'll be after the shield, or we could do it before the shield, is the weapon upgrade with the Shepherd's of Soul enchant. That's the difference in us being able to proc, essentially, Valor F all the time while we're mapping and while we're bossing. And so, anyways, that's just a sneak peek of some of the upgrades I'm working towards and the plan for the Guardian Righteous Fire. I'm excited about continuing to push this character. I think this character's already performing really well, and I could see upgrades that are going to be 2x damage upgrades and much, much higher as we continue to push it. So anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this so far as the journey from zero to hero on the league start of the Guardian RF. And hopefully next update is going to be a pretty big one. Thanks for watching, Exiles. Take care and peace out. Have a good one.